What is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video. And in today's video, we have some new legend information. We're finally getting a V2 Brook and a V2 Franky over here on Optc Global and Japan. And in today's video, we will be taking a look at the characters, taking a look at what they do, their captain abilities, their specials, as well as the banner structure. We're going to talk about if I think it's worth it, if you guys should summon, have a look at what's going on, but just be mindful, anniversary is around the corner. But let's take a look at the characters. Let's dive in. Alright, so here we have it, the Treasure Cruise Sugarfest that will be released of the 26th of March, starting at 1900 PST, going to April 28th. This is basically like our monthly Sugarfest that we get once a month. So let's take a look at the characters. We're going to look at the Sugos. We're not going to look at the rare recruits. We're just going to look at Brook. We're just going to look at General Franky. And let's see what these guys actually do. Alright, so as you can see, we do have some new icons. As you can see here, we have a dual unit Franky, or General Franky unit. This is what the 5-star looks like, I'm pretty sure. That's the dual form. Maybe that's the 6-star. Honestly, I don't actually really know. Like, it's a little bit up in the air with what General Franky actually... I think, that's the side, that's the dex, that's the dual form. Honestly, I don't know. But we do have a new Brook. There is a new Brook here as well, as you can see. Then we have two new rare recruits. We have a Robin and a Sanji, and then we have a free-to-play Sasuke. So, as you guys can see, huge shout-out to the Discord, as always. Let's take a quick look at what Brook actually does. So, Brook is a quick, free spirit slasher. This is preliminary information, obviously, so take it with a grain of salt. His captain is once per adventure. He will protect you from defeat. So, basically gives you resilience. And if there are multiple attacks in the same turn, this effect will also be applied to those attacks. So, you basically just have built-in resilience. So it's great for stuff like death damage and whatnot. He reduces cooldown of the crew by 1 turn, as well as boosting free spirit characters' attack by 4.5, HP and recovery by 1.3, which is pretty interesting. Treats quick recovery and tandem as matching, and if the crew is below 30%, he becomes a 5x captain. A pretty stock standard captain ability. This has always been a factor when it comes to Brook. I don't know how viable it'll be, but it's a pretty solid captain ability. Nothing too fancy, nothing too amazing. You do get matching orbs, which is great. But the big thing that I do see here is that he's a free spirit slasher character. And that's going to be really interesting. Because as we scroll down here, he is actually a super class for free spirit characters. So, free spirit are cracked. And this means he's going to be very, very strong. But let's take a look at what his special does first. And we'll go from there. It reduces the cooldown of free spirit characters by 1 turn, boost the base attack bar of free spirits by 1000, and then boost the chain coefficient by 1.6. That is huge. Massive. Massive, massive chain boost. That is the biggest in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1.6 is the biggest in the game. And if HP is 30% or less, changes all orbs, including block into matching, and reduce damage by 95%. This here is the only issue I have with Brook. This right here. Being below 30% to get the 5x attack is very, very frustrating. And obviously to get that second part of his special, it's very annoying. Being at low HP and captains that are at low HP, it kind of sucks, to be honest. But Brook, he's just he's good. He's got a good captain ability, nothing fantastic and nothing you should really chase. I would probably let Brook come to you. But if you have a Straw Hat member or your HP is below 30%, you can get his super class, which will obviously give super free spirit characters their super class. He's going to extend the crew's damage reduction buff by 1 turn, which is kind of mid, and then increases the chain coefficient buff by 0.5. So that 1.6 that you see up here becomes a 2.1. So that's pretty nice. Pretty good damage there with 1000 base stats. Once per adventure, if you launch a special, he reduces damage by 60%. That's actually going to come in handy on any Straw Hat character. Pretty nice. And then Pirate Rumble. Let's have a look. In Pirate Rumble, he is going to quick speed up, attacks level 6. First 40 seconds, he does speed down level 6 for strength characters. Kind of mid. 100% up to apply haste. That's good. That's really good. And then applies paralysis for 15 seconds and level 8 attack down. So that's not a bad special, but only for strength characters. So, look. Brook's not bad. Do we have a picture for Brook? I guess not. Brook's not bad. but, like, he's not great. Like, I wouldn't chase Brook. I would sort of let Brook come to you. You know, like, I definitely wouldn't chase Brook. Still pretty good, and what you would be able to do with Odin and Brook together with the superclass shenanigans of free spirits and slashes, that's going to be really, really interesting. But let's take a look at Franky. He's a Dex Psi character who's a free spirit slasher as well. So obviously you can just use this Franky on that team. Disgusting. What? I didn't know he was a slasher. But you have a General Franky captain. So when you use the special, you go into the General Franky form. You are going to boost the attack of all characters by 4 times. HP 1.5, and if the character's first class is fighter, slasher, shooter, striker, you get an additional 1.25 times attack. So very similar to like Carrot. But like, I think, is it first class? Like, does it have to be the first class? Or does it have to be like any of the classes? So it says first class here, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and say that it is the first class. Which is kind of annoying, because say for example, they're like free spirit slasher. Like, what's Brook? So like, Brook here is a free spirit slasher, right? So he wouldn't get that 1.25 if it's like actually like written correctly. So that's kind of annoying. But then he's also going to boost their if the first of the other 4 classes, so cerebral, powerhouse, driven, or what's the other one? Driven, cerebral, powerhouse, free spirit. Then you get the 1.3 times color affinity. So you can do a lot of damage with this. Like if you build the team right, you can do a lot of damage. Then he's going to reduce 10 turns of attack down and burn. This line right here of attack down is wildin'. Burn for me is kind of mid, but like attack down, that is wildin'. 10 turns of attack down removal, holy. Obviously he's a dual unit, so he has 2 like different counterparts. The Black Rhino is a 3.75 HP 1.5, and for fighter, slasher, shooter, strikers, you're going to get the 1.25 extra attack, provided is your first class, and then 10 turns of attack down. If you are the Brachio tank, you're going to get the same thing, except you're going to get color affinity by 1.3 if your first class is powerhouse, free spirit, cerebral, or Darren, and then you also get burn. So obviously when you are in the dual form, you get all of this, but I feel like, oh hey Mizan, how you doing? I feel like most of the time if you're using this character, you're going to have this. Like, this is what you're going to be focusing on. Having burn removal is kind of like whatever, and like color affinity built-in captains is just kind of mid. But the big thing about Franky that we do want to talk about, the big thing, is this ridiculous fucking special that this motherfucker has. 30% of cruise maximum HP as recovery, removes poison, boost the attack of fighter, slasher, shooter, and strike characters by 2.5, and then boost their orbs of free spirit, driven, cerebrals, and powerhouse by 2.5, and becomes General Franky for 3 turns. This is wild. 2.5 times attack and 2.5 times orbs in one special. Like, disgusting. This is what makes Doflamingo so good. The fact that you can be the attack and the orb booster. But Franky can do it for multiple classes. That is wild. Absolutely wild. His swap removes Despair on himself and boosts color affinity of all characters by 1.5 for 1 turn. And he recovers 25% of the damage received at the end of the stage. So this is like a Sabo, and like Sanji Pudding had a little bit of a baby situation. They do have a super swap, which means that you get a 2 times color affinity, removes Despair, and 50% of the damage that you deal or receive on the previous turn, or the end of this turn, will like you'll get at the end of the stage. Once you activate this, you get it. So hypothetically, if you hang around for 4 turns on every stage, you can continuously get this. So with Franky, you can get a 2.5 times attack boost, a 2.5 times orb boost, and a 2 times color affinity boost, provided you do build your team right, which is absolutely wild. Franky as a sub is going to be absolutely ridiculous, but as a captain and having utility, he's going to be very, very good as well. The downside I do have to Franky, the big downside is this line right here. The first class has to be this. Now, obviously, I will need to test these characters before I can actually get like more information, but just in terms of simplicity, I do think I like Brook a little bit more. But in terms of what you can do, I do think the Franky is better. Obviously, we'll have to see what they throw at us in terms of this burn damage. But, like, we'll have to sort of wait and see, you know? Like, if there's, like, burn to me is, like, whatever. Because you can just bring a chain locker, and at the end of the day, you can get around it that way. So, Franky's super interesting. Brook is very, like, stock standard. I'm super keen to try some, like, Brook and Odin builds. And then run, like, Kinemon Denjiro, run stuff like Toki. Obviously, you can run Franky on that team. I don't know who I'm going to summon for, but honestly, I would let these characters come to you. They're not Super Sugofest characters. They're not exclusive characters for Treasure Map or Kazuna banners. And, yeah, like, pick them up along the way, you know? But, let's take a look at the banners now. Alright, so on to the Sugofest now. As I mentioned, the Part 1 starts on the 26th. Part 2 on the 27th. Part 3 on the 28th. So this is kind of nice that they're not doing this, like, waiting a day. Part 1 is a trap. If you're summoning, don't summon on Part 1. Like, just going off, like, previous, like, Sugos, Part 1 is a goddamn trap. Like, it's a trap. But let's take a look at the structure anyway. It's going to be dog shit. I already know it. Like, I just know it. I think it's a 10% red rate as well, so be mindful of that. First multi is a Sugofest exclusive or rate boosted character. Second's the same. Third's the same. And then you get a guaranteed Sugo on the fourth. 200 gems for a guaranteed Sugo. Not great. Then you've got rate boosted or Sugo for the next 3 steps. And then a limited pool Sugofest for the 8th step. And then you've got the rate boosted step again. Then Sugo. Last boosted, rate boosted. And then you've got a super limited Sugo. Rate boosted. Yeah, like this is dog shit. Like this is trash. Like, don't summon on this banner. With Anniversary, like, around the corner, like, even going to 25 multis, like, God forbid why you would go for 25 multis on Part 1. But you don't even get one of them guaranteed. Just, that's wild to me. That's so wild. Like, I can't believe that. Bandai, you still pulling. Why is this last step not guaranteed General Franky or Brook? Like, why is it not? Just make it that, Bandai. Just make it that. Part 2 and Part 3... should be very similar, but the third poster is actually a Sugo, so this is infinitely better. The first multi has nothing by the look of it, though. Still 50 gems. So you lose a rate booster step, which is not the end of the world. But then the next Sugo is on the 7th poster. You're not getting a limited pool step till the 10th, and... then... do you even get super limited pool steps? I don't think there is super limited pool steps on Part 2 and 3, because you can get them guaranteed. So, like, that's kind of dog shit, to be honest. Like, that's actually so poor. Super poor form. So, there is a 10% red rate. It is written right there. Don't summon on this banner. Like, we have Anniversary coming up for Japan, and hopefully they don't fuck that up. And hopefully they do that a little bit of justice. But, if you guys really like this Brook, and you really like this Franky, go for gold. I will be summoning, just because it's what I do. Probably do 3 multis on each part. But I'm going to do my best to stay right away from Part 1, to be honest. Because, like, I'm sick of doing Part 1 shenanigans. And after getting lucky on Kinemon Denjiro, as well as Odin, I just don't think I have it in me to, like, do that again. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of Brook and of General Franky V2s in the comment section below. Are you guys going to summon? Do you like these characters? Do you like the actual characters themselves, or do you actually like the characters in the game? Let me know which one you guys think is better, and while you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button. If you are new to the channel as well, hit that big red subscribe button. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!